Say after chatting with people that I've met that practice in this area overseas, it seems to me like if you're a male, Australia is the worst.
As somebody who's been practicing family law for 20 years now, how would you view our system at the moment?
A lot of thoughts, but I can say after chatting with people that I've met that practice in this area overseas, it seems to me like if you're a male, Australia is the worst place to have a child and split up with that child's mother in the world. It's highly destructive. I have people all the time talking about killing themselves. A couple of weeks ago on a Friday afternoon, I thought my client was going to kill themselves. They didn't. Thank God. I have another client who regularly threatens himself. I have a few actually now that I think about it.
These men?
Oh yeah, yeah, only men. It's terrible what's happening.
Avi Mini for Rebel News in Melbourne, Australia. Today doing something a little bit different. Recently, I released a report on the formula that every man who's going through a relationship breakdown needs to know. Now, in reaction to that, it's been enormous. Mostly men telling their story, saying that almost to a T, this describes what happened to them. And also some feminists who seemed outraged. Well, they're feminists, so they were just outraged, but also outraged at the content of this video, claiming it to be false. So today, I'm sitting with an expert, a lawyer who practices in this area and has been doing so for 20 years. Now, we're going to protect his identity because, of course, to be able to get the truth about this system, well, we want him to be able to say what he really thinks. So the formula, the one that I talk about in the video, do you think it is for real? That is what mainly women are using in our courts?
I've watched the video and it's my advice that if you're results focused, you'd be stupid not to follow that formula.
From the start of the formula, from the IVO that's initially taken out against him to the point of a resolution, what's the average time?
Depends on every case, but on average, if the other person on the other side is following the formula that you referred to in your other video, if you are aiming to get significant time with your kids, if you get that result within a year and a half, you're doing well. At this time, they simply more or less listen to the woman and don't listen to the man. And the man has to receive all the consequences of the law and the woman doesn't. Is that fair? It doesn't make sense. It simply doesn't make sense. If a man says she tried to kill me and she says he tried to kill her, the woman will be listened to. The man will be charged with a threat to kill, things like that, and he won't see his kids for a long time. And a lot of the time we're now seeing that after some time of going through the system that the kids go and want to live with the dad because they know what's happening. And we see that time and time again, but those stats don't get highlighted because they're not sexy.
In reaction to the video highlighting the formula, a infamous feminist, Clementine Ford, reacted by saying that, of course, I'm sharing the oldest lie in the book, the fact that women just lie. Do people lie in this system that we have now? Do people lie, and are there real consequences for lying?
100% people lie. The system incentivizes people to lie. There's next to no consequences to lying. I have clients that have lied, that are currently lying, and that will lie. And will they get into trouble? They will not. If they don't lie, they're stupid.
The system makes you're stupid in this system if you don't lie, and is that to either gain custody as either the woman who's trying to take custody and or men who are trying to get back custody? You just need to lie in this system to win either way. Is that what you're saying?
The system incentivizes it, so yeah.
Is there something that we can do to fix that? Is there something the system can do better to stop lying? So whether it's allegations of domestic violence or time spent or anything like that?
There certainly could be greater consequences for lies. in two places, one in the family court and secondly in the magistrates court. The family court has a policy of attempting not to punish people, but the people would probably take the system or be more truthful in the system if there were consequences to lying.
So, abusive men, for example, do they care that much about court orders and things like that, or do they think they're above the law?
You get both kinds. You get some abusive men who respect court orders and understand rationality. It's a waste of time fighting with court orders. You get others that do think that they're above the law. You get both.
What impact do you think that child support has on the process?
Specifically on the process, it positively incentivizes people to keep the kids away from the other parent because they'll get more money.
Do you think that the system is in its current state almost not only incentivizes child support, forcing child support, but also essentially allows kids to be used as pawns, not in their best interest, for vindictiveness instead of what it's really designed for?
100%, particularly if you can get on a roll, have an IVO, find some breaches for alleged family violence, find a sympathetic police officer or prosecutor that will prosecute the breaches. Most of the time they'll go through if someone's willing to lend an ear. Sometimes police officers have been through their own trauma and do things for their own reasons. If you do all that, you're on a winner. The kid's going to spend as much time with the other parent as you want, more or less. And that's not always, or most of the time, good for the kid. You'll get more money as a result of it if you're splitting up, not just child support, but division of matrimonial property or de facto matrimonial property. The decisions in relation to children's spend time arrangements with their parents are made by the wrong people at the moment.
And when you look at our system, who are currently the biggest victims of our system?
The kids, the innocent men, the families of innocent men, the grandparents, the parents of the innocent men, the cousins of the children in relation to the innocent men, because when a kid is not allowed to see the dad, that usually means they can't see any of the dad's family. Often these kids, the most important people in their lives, their cousins, their uncles and aunties, they just get cut off like a hot knife through butter.
And that's court ordered, really, essentially. That's court ordered. Isn't family alienation what they consider domestic violence? If a man stops the children from, or the woman from seeing their family, that is one of the men behavioural change, at least in those courses. That's what they call domestic violence. So how can you call something domestic violence that the court itself orders against dads?
It doesn't make sense. Quite simply, it doesn't make sense.
Last question. Thanks for your time, but if a man watching this right now has just received the first step in the formula, he's just been served with the intervention order, long road ahead, what would your message be to him?
You need to accept that the system is broken. Once you accept that and move forward, keep remembering that and stick fat, keep pushing, keep doing what your lawyer's saying. Don't try and fight the system. It won't work. Don't try and accept that it's broken and just keep going. If you try and fight the system with your case, you're just going to get a headache and it'll cost you a lot of money in legal fees.